welcome back to Night Clerk Radio, episode 118, where Ross is back from Japan. This is coming out Christmas week in the US, so we're doing Vaporwave stocking stuffers. It felt like the best way to make up for missing an episode in December is to just combine a traditional holidays Vaporwave episode with a new music episode. Mm-hmm. So we got lucky number 13 albums to go through today. Some are new, some are old. It's a little bit of both. It's a real grab bag.
Yeah, no, we have the Vaporwave, lo-fi, dark ambient. There's a lot of different ways to interpret Christmas music and the holidays musically, it turns out.
That is true. That is true. So, I mean, I guess we'll do a little bit more of a catch up on all your Japan nonsense on like a Patreon episode.
Yeah.
But how you doing? It's been a while. We haven't recorded in like a month and a half or something.
Oh, God.
We did that big push before you went out of town, and then here we are.
It's true. Here we are. Yeah, no, I've gotten over jet lag recently, and
okay, good.
Getting back to a normal, schedule, and yeah, Japan was awesome and an incredible experience. And if you get to go, I highly recommend it. And I'll have some travel tips in our Patreon episode. One thing, just in general, I noticed their physical media is super popular in Japan, which is nice, CDs and Blu-rays and DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not all being turned into streaming. But yeah, I listen, it turns out Vaporwave and ambient and lo-fi music are really great to listen to on long plane rides.
It's true.
Yeah, I listened to that ambient mix I made for the Night Clerk Discord. And that's great for listening to when you try to wait for the melatonin to kick in on a 12-hour flight.
12's not bad.
Yeah, that's on the way back. 14 hours on the way over.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm eager to get back into, exploring haunted music for the podcast. And also, anime. Boy, there's a lot of merchandise related to it in Japan, it turns out. Scholars
still wonder why to this day.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, that's great. I have nothing major to report. I did a dumb little solo bonus episode on mountaineering and Vaporwave.
Oh, cool.
Just like rambling for a bit. Mm-hmm. It's a little unfocused, but I think there's something there to expand on. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I've started doing solo episodes for RPPR a bit, and it takes a bit to get used to doing the solo talking.
Yeah, you have to just zone out on the idea that you're just like talking into a mic by yourself. I'm just sitting at my desk talking to no one.
Yeah, but it is rewarding, I think worth doing. So
yeah,
to get some ideas out.
Yeah. It's like rough drafting. It's like dictation. It's like rough draft dictation to 100 people.
Yeah, there you go.
Or however many on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, heck, we got 13 albums to go through. So let's start. As is tradition with any compilation episode, probably not going to be samples except for an outro sample. We're only going to talk about things a little bit each time. There's a lot here. It's all going to be in the show notes. And, we highly recommend you check anything that even sounds remotely interesting out for yourself. That's always my disclaimer on all these compilation episodes of like, it's too much. It's a lot.
Yeah, no joke. And we were listening. Yeah, I like the episode I come back to is one where we have to listen to 5 or 6 times as much music as we usually do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, get you back.
Yeah, exactly.
Get you back in listening shape.
There we go.
All right. So, but we start off easy. Well, they're all easy. They're all pretty good. We generally pick stuff we like. But we start off with Holiday Countdown by Various, released on Florida Rain's Bandcamp, which is a big, as is tradition around this time of year, there's a lot of compilations. And I'm actually bummed that there's probably going to be compilations that come out after we record this that aren't going to make the episode. Like I know there's a Slush Wave.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure there's like a big Slush Wave. I'm sure there's a big Signal Wave one in the works. Maybe another Utopia Virtual or like Pacific Waza. Yeah, I don't know if either of them are planning big releases.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, but like it makes sense though, right? Because like, Vaporwave is connected very deeply to consumerism and shopping malls.
Totally.
What do you think of when you think of consumerism and shopping malls? The holidays and Christmas shopping. And of course, there's a huge body of Christmas music, which has been used for, Muzak for malls and TV commercials and staples of Vaporwave.
So much material.
Yeah, the Venn diagram is nearly a circle between.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I said Utopia Virtual, like the genre. I, of course, meant Utopia District, who did many great compilations that we talked about last year. So sorry.
Yeah, great.
I just want to get that out before the corrections come rolling in that I misspoke, and I am sorry. But for this Florida Rains compilation I mentioned, tons of heavy hitters, just a big, slushy, weathery channel, Signal Wave, Mossoft, Vaporwave, all over the place. Compilation, tons of artists we've talked about before on this, really big, great names, Cinematic Sequences, Florida Rains we've done before, Hotel Shampoo, International Telecom, Kenmore Classic, Kratzwerk, Tele Plus One, TEF, Victory Over Death, just tons of heavy hitters.
Yeah, and fairly upbeat, I think, overall. Like, it's clearly Vaporwave, but it's not like... It's very easy to make it like dark and depressing and really scatter, but like it's still pretty like, cheerful as Vaporwave would go. Yeah. And this is a brand new compilation, by the way. This came out like...
Yeah, this satisfies our new music criteria. It came out the first of this month. So there'll be older episodes, there'll be newer ones, because we got to cover both. We got our new music and our holiday. So I'm being efficient here, Peyton.
All right.
Oh, boy. Okay. Album number 2, Holidays by Anomaly, a jazz pianist. And this one I just linked to have a little bit of genre variety. It's Christmas standards, your Deck the Halls, Silent Night, etc. But given that sort of modern jazz reharm that's become trendy over the past, 5-10 years, not that they sound like this, but you see a lot of bands, Neely did a couple, like Christmas albums, basically, like little EPs like this. Like Knower and Dirty Loops, I'm sure have done it too. So yeah, if you like that sort of modern electronic sort of jazz reharm stuff, I think it's a fun little album for that. I guess it's like a living project because it references 2023 and the liner notes talk about adding new songs every year. So it's up to 9. So I don't know if it's just records one a year and just adds it
as the spirit moves them, moves
them.
They
more so than just like my Kenny G Christmas album or something. I don't know. Like it's like just this sort of fun little project.
Yeah, I was really this is not like lo-fi, it's a very like pristine sort of recording, but like it would fit in like that sort of musical space, I guess, the coffee shop music, like the light, but like it's interesting music because like it makes these very tired old songs we've heard a million times before sound interesting again. And so like, it's worth it for that. And also, but it's like pleasant holiday music that's not the same thing you've heard exactly a million times before. So
it's in a weird in between space. I would say it's a little too jazzy reharm maybe to be like coffee shop music sometimes, which I think of more like soft jazz, like less adventurous. It's more adventurous than that.
Yeah.
But it's not just because it's jazz doesn't mean it's lo-fi, of course. And that's why I say modern. Reharmonization is the kind of term for like taking an existing piece and spicing it up.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I can send you a lot of videos on it.
Oh, it sounds like we could do it as a topic for a future episode.
We could. It's been well covered by people who have much more actual music training because it's a music theory thing.
All right, fair enough.
But there's a whole musical theory about like, first you take the chords and you add higher extensions and then you add all these passing tones and you can kind of get more and more like abstract with it out to where it like barely sounds like what you're trying to do. And this is more in that middle zone of modern, but still interesting. I don't know. But it was a little break from the Vaporwave. Trying to have a little bit of variety, which we do.
Yeah.
But not in this next one, which is back to Christmas at Crystal Valley Mall by Malls of Future /Past. It's a little EP, came out almost 10 years ago at this point. It's a 2015 classic. I had just not heard of it. And, I feel like we had dug through Christmas Vaporwave a lot in previous years. And all these ones kind of snuck past. It doesn't even have like a tricky title. Christmas is in the title. So I don't know how I never found it.
And it's Mallsoft. You love Mallsoft.
And it's Mallsoft. It's should all be a perfect hit, but for whatever reason, missed it. But again, this year, it's a good little mall soft EP of, classic Vaporwave, Blunderphonics. Get in there.
Yeah. Best way to spend Christmas is at an abandoned shopping mall. Everyone knows this.
We're going to be in a lot of abandoned shopping malls, which may or may not be my fault. But I do think this one is, compared to the Florida Rains tape, is a little more like down tempo at times, I thought. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of like the big difference, but some cool sax samples and stuff in there. Yeah, very, very mellow. Just you're stuck in a mall on Christmas, and a guardian angel's making you try on shoes, I guess. That's a Hallmark joke it's an inside joke for 3 people. Moving on, album number 4 is Home for the Holidays by Sad Chasey, which I just heard about. I do not remember its original release.
Yeah.
In 2017, but somebody posted like, "Oh, hey, look, I found this on the Internet Archive." Which, first thing, Internet Archive has a better web music player than Bandcamp. So Bandcamp.
It's true. Yeah.
Maybe a little thinking. Maybe a little, even a volume control. It's got a volume control.
Yeah, that's really all it needs for me.
That's a huge feature step up.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is very 2017 classic Christmas Vaporwave, which is, I think, going to be a repeated phrase for a lot of these. I mean, it's really good. It's a really cool mix of like more traditional Vaporwave tracks of like chopped up samples, but then there's also just broken transmission-y, let a commercial run for a minute, but kind of slow down and warbly. That good mix of both those, I guess, micro nano genres.
Yeah, I never even heard of Sad Chasey before this. So, but it's a good classic Vaporwave, like, some very calming mall soft. I love that little bit with the organ at the end. It's the best, way to, end an album, a holiday album, is with some haunting church organ music that's been chopped up or worked on. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad. Their last post on Instagram was 315 weeks ago.
Oh.
Maybe they left the scene. The like Bandcamp doesn't really exist. I haven't had any music anymore, but then that Pittsburgh scene. So it could be like an alternate project of people up there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of music coming out there. So, or they got canceled, in which case I'm sorry to platform them. Who knows? You can never tell. It's been a while, team. Stay on target. Next up, a very fun. This actually going to be a YouTube link in the show notes, because this is a little 25-minute video-ish, I guess, of Christmas in the Hyper Mall on the DGA Bloody Sunday channel. And it is just a Christmas compilation of everything from, again, commercials. There's classics sampled, more pop hits. I feel like I was going to wait till later to make this joke, but I feel like a lot of these have a Last Christmas flip. Like that seems to be a very popular song. In the Vaporwave scene, the Wham classic.
Oh, yeah.
I hear that a lot, but also this has like some movie themes, like this is like the Home Alone theme is in part of it and stuff.
There's like a video game sample. Yeah.
There's a bunch of
Yeah. Really interesting sampling, not only like video game music and the movies and stuff like that. My favorite sample is towards the end, as we get our holiday favorite hip-hop artist, Death Grips.
Yes, Christmas artist Death Grips makes an appearance.
Yeah.
And the visuals of the video are kind of fun. This is from 2015, so it's like, it's the Hypermall, but it's just screensavering through walls covered in logos. So there's like classic Apple logos. There's like Blank Banshee appears. Needle Drop is on there. Fucking Fiji Water, Amazon, just all these tons and tons of brands and video game companies and everything. You're just kind of like wandering this endless mall.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Just great stuff. This was one of my favorite, actually, because the variety of samples and tracks, and as a shorter piece, I wouldn't say some are padded, but like I like the shorter albums with a more variety for the holidays. So
yeah, you also like your visual components.
I do like my visual components. So
we always say it's a total multimedia thing. It's not just a music genre.
Yeah.
So the visuals also are super interesting. All right, we're making good time. We're doing well.
Yeah.
All right. Yay. On to our 6th album. O Come All Ye Vapeful a compilation on Pacific Plaza Records, who we did last year a bunch of their Christmas compilations. They kind of did one a year for a while. I don't know if one's coming out this year, but I found out after we did that we had missed this one from 2019. So it got snuck back onto the list. Ton of Pacific Plaza artists. There's Encarta 95, Twin Pines Mall, Data Girl, Trucks Passing Trucks, who's the record label runner, Frank Jeff C. Wizard of Loneliness, Power PCB, Dan Mason, etc. Again, I think these compilations, I always say, are kind of my favorite because I think it's very hard for one artist to do like a whole Christmas album without working on it like for maybe years and kind of collecting tracks, you know, like that Anomaly album or like some other compilations. So I think having lots of people come together and each kind of contribute their own interpretation of what Christmas Vaporwave should be is maybe like a more interesting way to go about it. And then you have a great artist stable because Pacific Plaza Records is like one of the best Vaporwave labels, of course. And then a lot of genre variety in this one because it's not just Vaporwave, but there's like a lot of like vapor funk, electronic.
Vapor trap.
Yeah, like trap, a little more poppy.
Yeah, also a lot of tracks with singing and like lyrics and really good singing. Like I think Santa's Boy is a banger. Like I love that track. But yeah, this album has a lot of surprises on it, and this is also one of my favorite albums because of the variety. Also, like the singing, the clever lyrics and everything. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this. Yeah,
like I'm sad I missed it last year, but hey, found it this year. Yeah. So
better late
really,
than
really,
never.
really cool.
Yeah.
And then along the same lines for 7, I also snuck this one on you. So I'll just talk about it real quick because I think it snuck past you on the barrage of links to listen to. But there's Xmas 2017 to 2019 by Trucks Passing Trucks, who, as I just said, is the person in charge of Pacific Plaza. They're like Vapor Trap, Vaporwave alias. And this is just a collection of songs that they made, like I said, from 2017 to 2019. So kind of instead of like sitting down in October or whatever, be like, I should put out a Christmas album. You know, you just kind of have these Christmassy ideas and you eventually release them. So some of this was released on other compilation tracks. 2 of them were. But then the other 6 tracks are available here. I like them. They're in that style of, you know, he's got a good style like Vaporwave, Vapor Trap that I really like.
I'll have to listen to it after this episode.
Yeah, you should go back and check it out. It's good. It's good. It's again, you know, there's some of this Christmas stuff just lends itself so well to the Vaporwave treatment that it's like, there's a lot of fun stuff. And I like some of the addition of like a really nice focus in his music on like really good beats and stuff on top of that, like the augment tracks, which you always notice always stands out. Album number 8, moving right along to Woolworths by Kenmore Classic, which I will admit, maybe not the most Christmassy of the Christmas albums. I sort of snuck it in because it's newish, came out in October of this year. It does have one track called Christmas Chant, so I'm going to allow it. But this is otherwise Kenmore Classic, you know, like Mallsoft, Slushwave, Maestro. I don't know. Great. Love all the stuff. We haven't really like, they've been on the show before, but I don't know if we've ever really like deep dive into their stuff.
Yeah.
In the same way as some other artists, but really, really great. Just Plunderphonics, Mallsoft.
And like some barber beats or late night lo-fi kind of elements.
Sure.
As well. Yeah, I really do like Kenmore Classic's work in general because like the use of sampling period commercials is just spot on in this album. Like they're peppered in just the right frequency and the right choices of what clips are being used. Yeah, a lot of good, you know, cultural archaeology mixed in.
Yeah, that's the thing with really all of these, you know, kind of being a little over halfway through is a lot of times it's just because we produce so many of them, but it's cool that people are still finding like unsampled weird ads. And I know it's just because there's endless of them and all it takes is one weirdo to dig up a bunch of VHS in his parents' basement or something and digitize it. Yeah. And then you've got like a whole new treasure trove, but I would love to know like the research process and just how much work that is to go through and find all these weird old commercials and stuff, especially if you need the visuals too. You know, like people who do like the compilation video.
Yeah. And how much of it is like solo versus like community projects? Like I know
that's true too.
You know, there's a lot of discords around these communities, like the Signal Wave Discord, where people are like, oh, there's a whole channel of like sample sources, you know, like things to plunder. And there's just always interesting, weird videos from, you know, channels and shows you've never heard of. Yeah, that would be a good topic for someone to do a little documentary or video essay on. But
yeah, somebody else.
Somebody else, yeah.
But yeah, this album is just a nice little Maltsoff tribute to the, I assume, long gone at this point, Woolworths. I don't know if they're still around in any capacity. R.I.P. Moving on to album number 9, Christmas Party at Living Room off DMT Tapes in Florida. Short little 5-track EP came out this month. It's a compilation of some Christmas theme music. And this one stood out to me as kind of being the like darkest and grimiest, I think, of the Christmas Vaporwave. Now we have a dark ambient album later, which we'll talk about, of course. But I think of the ones that are like, oh yeah, we're Christmas Vaporwave. This one felt the most like slushy ambient to me. Yeah.
Very
it's staticky. It's lo-fi and staticky. It's got like not even just static filters. It's got some other like warbly is the wrong word. It just has some like degradation, some like tape degradation on it or something to make it just sound like deep and distant. And I really, really liked it. Even just from the opener, Eggnog by the Fire, that first track. Yeah. I was into it.
Oh, yeah, when I listen to this, I was like, oh, Bert's going to like this. This is some...
Yeah. My only regret is it's 5 tracks. But yeah, it's very up my alley.
You know, I thought it was very chilled and relaxed. But like now thinking about it, it's more like chilled and relaxed in that you're using tranquilizers to get through the holidays with your family. So, yeah.
Yes. It's popping an extra Valium to get through dinner.
Oh, God, they're talking about the Fox News now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my only regret is it's shorter. I wish it was a little bit longer, but hey, it's good.
It's honestly surprising to see a Slushwave album that isn't like 4 hours long.
Yeah, that is true. It is refreshing in that regard. Moving on to 10, we're going to have a little back and forth whiplash here with these next few albums, so mind yourself. This is The Night Before Christmas by the Jazz Hop Café. Now, this is more of the coffee shop jazz that you were talking about earlier. This is very just soft, chill hop, jazz hop.
Yeah.
I said it's one of those things where I feel like, I always just, these are not insults. These are just things pop in my mind. It's the Fireplace DVD of Christmas albums on this selection. It's very good background.
Yeah.
Soothing. It's calm. It's not going to heck you up. So
Jazz Hop Cafe is a record label, operates in kind of the same space as like Lo-Fi Girl and Chill Hop. But yeah, they just do jazzier kind of lo-fi music, or like they're definitely operating in that space. And so I like them. I use his background music every once in a while, and used as interstitial music back when we were doing the Mix 6 podcast. And
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why I follow them on Bandcamp. And it's like, lo-fi music can get pretty samey after a while. But jazz hop is, once you're burned out on Lo-Fi Girl, you can switch over to jazz hop and go back.
That's right.
Yeah. It's very background music. Put it on and forget about it.
Yeah. Like if you had people over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like a mixed audience where you don't want to put on like weird shit.
Exactly.
But you don't want to just put on the same Mannheim Steamroller album.
Yeah. One thing I did like is this is not covers. It's original tracks instead of just hearing jazzy lo-fi versions of the same songs. It's actually new music. So, but it makes sense as holiday music. So
yeah, absolutely. And it counts as new. Came out this month. There we go. Congratulations, Jazz Hop Cafe. But veering back into the other lane for album 11, we have Grab Your Christmas Tree, released on Electrovox, which is a collection of goth, darkwave, and industrial Christmas music advertised as Christmas music for people who hate Christmas music. It is fun. It is aggressive, as you'd expect. It's got a lot of actually great tracks, but for me, it really stood out for track 2, which is Null Device, Baby, It's No Longer Cold Outside, parenthesis, because of climate change.
It's a good cover.
Which is like a complete conceptual flip of Baby, It's Cold Outside, of course. Which has become like a pariah in the Christmas song world recently.
Yeah. So I found this because I was looking through covering not just Vaporwave, but I want to look at other genres. And so I looked through Synthwave and trying to find holiday themed Synthwave that wasn't AI generated. There is a Synthwave album. I forgot the title of it, but it was like, generated in Suno. And I'm like, okay, no, we don't need that. But I did find this. It's like, oh yeah, no, let's give this a shot. So, and
it's a fun variety.
Yeah.
There's not just like flips on that. There's a lot of, like I said, like industrial and metal stuff. There's like the track Krampus, which sounds like the Doom Slayer went to the North Pole.
Yeah.
Just fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun little twist on the classics without, again, being all just covers.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just like, oh, we're doing industrial covers of Christmas songs. Isn't that funny? It's more original than that, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they kind of acknowledge it's a little silly, and I think that works.
Yeah,
That's what makes it work. It's not too self-serious. It's not trying too hard conceptually. I mean, obviously, like the production stuff's really good, but it's not like this is like a really serious commentary on Christmas.
Yeah, if they got too edgelord with it would not have worked at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's being fun. But we'll leave that behind and go back into our Vaporwave minds with album 11, 12 Days of Christmas Vaporwave by Radiophonic, who I had never heard of. This album is from 2018. It's Radiophonic is a Polish duo, you know, like keyboards and synths and loops and samples and all that goodness. But I could not really find anything about them, and this album did not have so I don't know anything about them. I couldn't find any other music by them in a cursory Google check, but I thought this was like a nice little batch of Christmas Vaporwave, you know?
Yeah.
There's a fair number of decent tracks on here, but it feels like, it does feel like a little undermixed to me or something about it.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. It does have like a good mix of like, you know, Signal Wave and lo-fi and commercials and Kmart tapes and all that stuff you'd expect.
Yeah. It feels like a classic Vaporwave, very Plunderphonics based, veering Signal Wave. You know, good use of the Kmart tapes and good curation of 80s commercial samples. But it does feel like something from like 10 years ago more than...
Which it almost is.
Yeah.
You know, in some sense.
Yeah, in some sense, yeah. It's not a sophisticated production, as you mentioned. But, you know, it gets the job done, I think, if you want.
Totally. I wasn't insulting. It just interesting. I just couldn't find anything else about them. So if they're like actually... I guess they have their real names in the band description. I could see what the actual artists themselves are up to, but as in terms of like releasing stuff under this name, I couldn't find anything.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So I guess it was like a little one-off project, or again, so many aliases, who knows? Somebody's going to comment and be like, actually that's a side project or something, you know, like, okay, sorry. Didn't know that, but it's good. It's a little, I don't know, forgotten gem, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even remember how I came across it. It just was on my list of stuff for this year.
Yeah.
That leads us into lucky number album 13, A Dark Ambient Christmas by Dead Melodies. Boy, I have not listened to like cryo chamber-esque dark ambient in a long time. And
oh yeah, you don't listen to any of their mixes or anything?
No.
See, I like Dead Melodies, so I started following him separately because he releases his own work outside of Bandcamp, and he's one of their dark jazz composers. And so when this popped up, I think it's new this year. No, it's from last year. I was like, oh hell, perfect. And so I quite like this. It's very appropriate for the holidays. I thought very orchestral and windy, very wintry, but very moody and melancholic. Meditative at times, but yeah, it's more like Christmas ghost story music than
it's like cold and wintry. It's definitely the one that gets the furthest away from like what all the other Christmas Vaporwave ones go for. But yeah, I could see it feeling wintry, you know. If they didn't call it a dark ambient Christmas, would you think that? I don't know. Doesn't really matter.
I mean, it's definitely a wintry album, but
but I don't know, like that's not me being critical, because what do you have, like Bing Crosby chanting in the wind in my
Bing Crosby doing a Gregorian chant with a lot of reverb added, a chorus effect.
And you know, if somebody does that, you can have that idea.
Oh, please now.
But yeah, Dead Melodies is a very cool dark ambient guy.
Yeah, and dark jazz.
Dark jazz, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you know, there's this whole thing about Christmas and horror, especially, like ghost stories specifically, not just, you know, Christmas Carol, but like there's a whole tradition of them, like Amar James stories and stuff like that. And it used to be a whole thing to tell ghost stories around Christmas time. And that's kind of fallen by the wayside. But like, let's make Christmas scary again. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's that's true. I think there's like a closing topic, and I think this album, but also some of the other or Vaporwave got on this is that like Christmas. I don't know, in the past 30 years or whatever, maybe more, maybe like 40 or 50.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like 50 to 70 at this point. Was like heavily recontextualized as like a happy time because you've got to be happy to go out and buy, basically.
Yeah.
But it like, I mean, it was the winter, right? It was winter solstice, spooky time. People are freezing to death.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. It's cold. It's dark. At least in, where it's winter in the Northern Hemisphere. It's dark all the time. It's cold. You got to hope all your food stores from the summer last because your farm ain't going anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely getting in touch with that. I mean, again, I'll go back to Adam Neely, who did this with his jazz reharmonization of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, which I'm sure I've talked about. There's no way we've done 5 Christmas episodes and I haven't talked about this, but like the original lyrics for Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas are actually like dark. They're like, have yourself a Merry Little Christmas. It may be our last, like that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like highlighting that sort of the melancholic aspect of Christmas, which is they fight tooth and nail to replace with cheer.
Yeah.
Cheer.
God, I bet there's some like good books on that subject of the transition from, somber and scary time of reflection and surviving the cold to bye. Yeah.
Yeah. You're cold. It's warm at the mall.
Yeah. With the Sears or the Woolworths.
The Woolworths. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe closed, but it's probably still warmer than outside.
Yeah. But yeah, so something to put on at night when you're looking at the fireplace, contemplating your mortality and hoping no ghosts.
Yeah, any of these, even the ones that come across as happy.
Yeah,
think about it. Think about it.
If you insist, I can call you an Uber. Maybe just to have a drink more. It's a non-alcoholic mocktail recipe.
Thank you so much for joining us on our triumphant return to podcasting after Ross has left me all alone in the winter cold.
Oh, no.
Definitely go hit up the show notes and check out the links to some of these albums. I think there's a lot of great Christmas compilations in there if you need something to listen to this week or even next or whenever. As for next episodes, I don't know. Normally we tell you what we're doing next. I don't know. Ross and I are going to have a little brainstorming session, figure out what kind of stuff we want to talk about, what we want to do in 2025. I'm sure it'll be fun no matter what. I do want to keep the new music episodes going, but definitely need to sit and think about some topics or other episodes of interest. So nothing on the schedule right now, but you'll find out same time we do. Almost delayed by a few weeks because we have to record it, but you know what I mean. If you like what we do and you want to hear more of it, of course, we have a Patreon, Night Clerk Radio at patreon.com. Bonus episodes, essays, cool Discord community, artwork, all kinds of stuff. It's a good community, helps keep the transmitter running. You can also find us at Night Clerk Radio, pretty much any social media site that's still running. So we got Twitter, nightclerkradio.com, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, at gmail.com. However you want to get in touch with us. There's lots of ways to do it. Mm-hmm. Wherever you do choose to check us out, please take a moment to rate, review, like whatever little algorithmic signifier that site has. It really helps out a lot for not much work. And lastly, especially around this time of year and with 2025 coming, now's the time to focus on building community. So make friends, make enemies, make frenemies, talk to them about Christmas Vaporwave, talk to them about Night Clerk Radio, and then we can all be pals.
Hell yeah.
All right. Thank you again so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.